didn't think it would be that big a deal, but apparently the vote was 16 to 18. So 16 board members thought it was a big enough deal to keep it the same. Yeah, my question to you is, why did you choose to keep it as a, why did you choose to hold this as a secret ballot?
Oh, I didn't choose that.
Why was it chosen?
I spoke in favor of the motion. My sentiments were not secret. The decision to hold a secret vote was that the chair of the meeting asked him.
And then how do you justify or reconcile saying that it wasn't that big a deal, or one felt, speaking in odd tense, that it wasn't a big deal, if 16 people clearly voted to keep the mission statement as it was? That's a fairly tight vote.
It was a pretty tight vote, but that doesn't change what the stakes are. In other words, you have plenty of votes which are close votes, but where the issues themselves aren't necessarily big deals. I thought that after all of this is over, you guys will hopefully see in a couple of days that this was not a terribly important matter so far as Shriver is concerned, your classes, or anything else connected with Shriver. That was certainly the spirit in which I voted for the motion. Okay.
All right. So
Good.
You stated that you thought that this was not an important issue for us. It was a big issue. We thought that voting in favor of something was important to school. But yet we gave you as a group that faculty, students, the assembly, as a voting body, voted in favor of the current mission statement. So you can obviously see that we recognize that we think the current mission statement or the previous one, as it is now been changed, was good.
That's two deals.
Exactly. And then you came here today, and you walked through that front door, and you saw it out there with signs. Basically, we affirmed the fact that we were in favor of the mission statement that was then what it was. And yet, I don't know how your argument for how you voted holds up against the fact.
I'll make a distinction between your thinking it's a big deal and it being a big deal.
But can I hear what you're saying? I would like to just share the lecture resolution of the parents that do not recognize how this statement is voted.
And your life changes precisely how?
I'm wondering, okay, so yeah, the assembly thinks it's a big deal, the faculty thinks it's a big deal. What about the higher learning? The higher learning commission, our accreditor. They say in several places you needed some kind of community consensus. The entire community, clearly, I imagine they could, has told the board, no. No consensus. I can read that. No consensus, we'll look at the accreditation next year. Not only as a trustee about the organizational health, about respecting the rules of our center.
Well, all your assumptions are incorrect. So that's my simple answer. I've read the bylaws, I've read the Constitution, and I gave a talk here. I sat in on it. I'm sorry, let the stuff like that all go. You want to apologize?
Why was this decision conducted not only without consensus among the internal community, faculty, 16 trustees, but without consulting the alum community? In fact, why was this conducted largely hastily in February as opposed to the original projected date of May, and only after cabling the 6 proposed nominees who were Shriver alums, who were up for nomination to the board?
Yeah, I had nothing to do with that. I wasn't on any relevant committee for that one. That never even came up with it. I wasn't around yesterday.
So the first part of the question, however, was why with no solicitation of community input at large?
Oh, well, because we knew that the student body and the faculty didn't like the proposed mission statement. So my understanding of what dialogue means is you get to state what you think, and the board gets to decide its own. I might agree with you or might not agree with you. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Except, of course, the criteria of the Higher Learning Commission is not that you establish a dialogue, but that you reach a consensus and an agreement.
Oh, you know what? I think there'll be a fair consensus when the time rolls around.
Really?
I'm really curious. You said that there's a difference between what we think is a big deal and what is actually a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, do you think there's a difference between what you think is a big deal and what isn't a big deal?
No question. I'm often wrong.
Okay, so could you be wrong about this?
No question I could be wrong about this. I just give it my best shot.
So it's quite possible that this really is a big deal.
It's quite, anything is quite possible. Anything is possible.
If the mission statement of a college is what determines the direction that college will take, don't you think that's a big deal?
I read the new mission statement. It didn't seem to be loaded with dynamite.
Okay, that not seem to be.
I want to revisit the question of what qualifies you and many others that voted positively on the Constitution statement to make that decision. Seeing as how you're very unfamiliar with Shimer, evidently, you had no past relationship with the school. I personally have brought more money to the school than you have. In fact, as you can see from our signs, it reminds you that you brought in a lot more money than a lot of you, the new trustees, have. You said you have a background in fundraising, but I think there's good reason to believe that you didn't even pay your entrance fee to the board yourself. I'm pretty sure that someone else did. I'm wondering what qualifies you and many others to make this decision.
That's a really simple question, and the answer is because I was duly appointed a member of the board. Full stop.
Duly, right? No, duly through fraudulent means. Is that?
By how my school is represented, and I think that the competition statement misrepresents the curriculum itself.
And I said that at the board meeting.